Hello and welcome to this episode of the Mixtape podcast. The Mixtape is a fun way of exploring the influences and inspirations of my musical guests as I ask them to make up an imaginary mixtape and pick 6 tracks for it. Among the choices will be their favourite cover version, a song they sing in the car or the shower, or a song they wish they could play to their 18-year-old selves. Every guest picks 6 tracks and you can hear their mixtape in the form of a Spotify playlist in the description for the podcast. Also down in the description you'll find a link to my social media and Patreon pages. There's lots of ways you can support the podcast, a like or a follow on social media, or you can become a patron for just $2 Australian a month. If you enjoy this episode, please go to the top of the page and rate it 5 stars or click the old subscribe button. Thanks for listening and I hope you enjoy this week's episode. Hello and welcome to this mixtape for KCR 102.5 FM and the mixtapepodcast.com. Joining me today is an absolute pleasure to be chatting to Ashlee from Floodlights. How are you, mate?
Yeah, good. Thanks for having me on, Mark.
Oh, it's an absolute pleasure. So you're coming to Perth next week. May the 9th, Freo Social. May the 10th, you're at the River in Margaret River. Floodlightsband.com for all the other tour dates and tickets and all that other good stuff. Touring in support of the new album, Underneath, that is out now. So first question, Ashlee, is when you're writing songs for the album, do you have a process where you just go, right, okay, let's sit down and write a song? Or as a band, do you collaborate, or do they come out in sound checks or jams, or what? How does your songwriting work?
Yeah, I guess in a whole bunch of different ways. We do quite a lot of collaborative, like jamming. Someone might bring in an idea. Louis has a lot of ideas he'll bring in. And then as a group, we'll just spend the time working on it and seeing where it goes. And sometimes it turns into a song and sometimes it doesn't. Other times people have brought in songs that are more completed and then we go from there. And then we usually make changes and it always ends up becoming a different thing from when you first bring it in. But for this album, we had quite a bit of time in the UK before we started our tour 2 years ago. And we really locked in we wanted to have some time writing songs for an album. So having that sort of like dedicated writing time all together every day, I think really helped with this album. And it has a different feel because it wasn't so stop-start in terms of the writing process.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Some fantastic bundles and vinyl on your web store as well. Again, that's floodlightsband.com. Are you much of a vinyl collector yourself, Ashlee?
You know what? I used to. I've still got them, but my record player broke. And ever since then, I occasionally buy one that I really like, but I've been, it's gone out of mind. But you've just reminded me I should get it fixed and get back into it because I used to love it. And I still love playing records when I'm at a friend's house. But yeah, I need to get that fixed up and back into it.
Yeah. I also want to talk to you. The video that you just put out a couple of days ago on your YouTube channel where you're doing the album like from start to finish live. Amazing video. I haven't got through all of it yet, but it looks incredible. Was that shot like in one take or did you have breaks in between? Like how did that shoot work?
Yeah, it was one shot in the sense that we'd do 3 songs at a time and we'd have one go at doing that and then we'd stop and have a break and get the set ready for the next 3 songs. But yeah, each time we filmed, it was a one take thing just through the nature of we didn't have that much time. There was elements of the video, like there's paper up around us at one stage and Louis rips it down. So you only got one shot to do those sort of things. So yeah, in that way, it felt like a show in that you can't keep going over things and changing it. We had the vibe of this is it, one go. But the team behind it, Ava and Henry, did such an amazing job of creating a really we just want to be an engaging way of showing our live show, which I think they really achieved through this video, which is cool.
Yeah. Was it a strange vibe? Because it's like a hybrid between an actual video shoot and a live show as well. Yeah. Was it a strange sort of thing to perform them live without a crowd to interact with, or how did you approach it?
It was different, definitely, because, obviously you get so much energy from the crowd when you play live. But because we were playing in a sort of circle formation, we really had to tap into each other to get the energy out. And there was a bit of a crew there, like different people were helping and stuff. So there was an energy in the room and we were all pretty hyped up to make a good video. So I feel like that energy came across without the crowd. But it was definitely different, and it was quite nerve-wracking because, yeah, you knew you only had one shot to make it work. But yeah, we had a little screening of it at our local cinema on Sunday with friends and family, and it was really nice to watch it all together and get to enjoy.
Do you think that will ever see the light of day in like a physical format, like a exclusive vinyl or record store day vinyl or something like that maybe, or will it just exist in a digital platform?
Potentially. I think the sound quality turned out really good, and we were discussing, Archie, our drummer, did the mix of the tracks, and he was saying it could be good to potentially do a vinyl run somewhere down the line, because I think it encapsulates the live aspect of the record really well. It would be a cool alternative, to the produced recording. Yeah.
On the subject of videos as well, Ashlee, the video for Buoyant, which is a single from the album, like, if anyone who hasn't seen it, you're underwater for a fair portion of the video. Like, how long were you underwater for? Were you cold? Like, how was that sort of video shoot? How did that pan out for you?
Yeah, that was really fun to make. We spent ages in the pool, as you can probably tell. I think we did 2 days or two days and nights filming, and the final night we were in the pool till 3:30 a.m. So it was like a big pool sesh, but luckily it was in summer and the pool was really warm. But it definitely got cold. Like, I was getting so shivery. But everyone would bring us hot water bottles to hold in the water, and we're drinking tea in the water, and then just doing laps in between takes, so we weren't too still. Yeah, and it was just, I've never spent so long in a pool before, but it was really fun, and it came out like it was such an amazing concept. Yeah, so we were stoked with that video.
Yeah, no, it's a fantastic video. So you can find that one and the live show of the complete album that we were talking about just now on the YouTube channel. If you just put Floodlights in YouTube, I'm sure you'll be able to find that. As we said, Ashlee, you're coming to Perth on May the 9th, 30 Social, and Margs the River on the 10th. It's obviously not your first time to Perth, but like, when you've been over this way, what other venues have you played? What are some of have you got a favourite venue in Perth or WA?
Yeah, so we played Mojo's, I remember. That was really fun. And we played, I can't remember the name of it, but it was almost like a themed restaurant, but it was a venue. I don't know what it's called.
Okay.
It had it had a horror sort of vibe, vampire cave sort of vibe. I can't remember what it's called.
Oh, Badlands.
Badlands. Yeah, Badlands.
Yeah. Amazing thing. That's shut down now, unfortunately.
Oh, no.
They were victims of the whole sort of hiking insurance policies and stuff like that.
True.
Post COVID, and because they're just a dedicated venue, like they only open Friday, Saturday nights for live music. That was all they're doing. So, like other venues, obviously they open during the day. They do food. Do you know what I mean, and stuff like that, and they can help a little bit. Yeah, I was actually at the very last ever show at Badlands, which was the final night of a 3-night run by Carnival. Amazing show. People were like knocking stuff off. Do you know what I mean? Like nicking bits of the set dressing and all that, because it was the last show and it was shutting down. Yeah, such a good show though. Like Carnival, obviously amazing. Yeah, it was a really absolute privilege to be part of that. A historical night, a sad night, but it went out with a bang for sure.
Don't touch that dial. Stay with us on the Mixtape.
The Mixtape is brought to you in association with Giglist. Giglist is your one-stop shop for all your live events. If you're looking to get out and experience some live music, you can filter by artist, venue, suburb or date. If you are an artist, it will take you less than a minute to list your gig for free on the website. The Mixtape brought to you in association with Giglist. Gigs in a list. All right, Ashlee, let's drop into the Mixtape track choices now. Apologies for dropping them on you like so last minute, but hopefully we'll get through them. Quite often, the first song you think of is like the best choice. You don't overthink it. Do you know what I mean? So, my show is called The Mixtape. And when I get guests on, I like to ask them to make up an imaginary mixtape, just as a sort of fun way of exploring your sort of influences and inspirations as a musician. So the first track of the mixtape is track 1, Attention Grabber. If you're going to make up a mixtape and you want to kick it off in good style with an attention grabber, what track would you use for that?
Yeah, I just picked a song that I really like at the moment. that I've been listening to a lot by Cameron Winter. It's called Nautica, Love Will Be Revealed. And yeah, it's just been on repeat for me over the last week. So I thought I'd just kick off with that.
Is that a new release, or has it been, or is it you just new to you?
I think it's a relatively new release. I don't know much about him. Louis, the singer in Floodlights, sent me the album and I had a listen through, and then when one song really gets you in, and yeah, you can't stop listening to it. I've just been on that wavelength this week. So yeah, I thought I'd kick off with that song.
Good choice, good choice. Track 2, Ashlee, of your mixtape is if you're getting around town in the car and you're on your own and you're belting out, singing like no one's listening, or in the shower, what's your go-to song for that?
Yeah, I picked for that song Vampire Empire by Big Thief. Yeah, just love that song. And again, I feel like I've listened to it so many times. I just always listen to it and love singing along to it in the car, in the shower. Yeah. And it's all, we play a lot of Big Thief and Adrian Linker at our house.
Okay.
Yeah, the lyrics get stuck in your head and then you stick it along, you know?
That's it. You get them earworms and that's it. You can't get rid of them. What I'll be doing, Ashlee, is on the radio show, I'll be dropping the tracks we're chatting about in between the choices. On the podcast, I can't do that because it's licensed content. But if you are listening on the podcast or the YouTube channel, there will be a link in the description to a Spotify playlist of all of Ashlee's mixtape tracks, and there'll be a few Floodlights tracks on there as well. All right, track 3, Ashlee, is what is your favourite cover version?
Favorite cover version is Johnny Cash doing Nick Cave's The Mercy Seat. Yeah.
Totally thought you were going to say 9 Inch Nails in Hurt. That was like, it's the most chosen song in that category. I'm sorry, carry on. Yeah, tell us about that one.
There you go. Yeah, I really love Johnny Cash's version of this song. I think it's so amazing that he did a cover of a Nick Cave song. And I listened to it quite a lot while we were driving in the UK. I feel like it suited the gloomy UK vibes of the winter when we were driving around. And I don't know, it's got a lot of emotion and I think it's a really beautiful song. So that's why I chose that one.
Great choice, mate. That is a fantastic cover. Yeah, that's why I came to live in Australia, because of the gloomy UK vibe. I feel you there, mate. I feel you there for sure. Absolutely. All right. And track 4, Ashlee, is what's a song you wish you could play to your 18-year-old self?
I picked I Don't Know You by Mannequin Pussy, who are an amazing punk band from Philadelphia, I think. I saw them play at Meredith last year. The lead singer especially, the whole band were amazing, but the lead singer had such a boss energy and was so well-spoken and articulate, and just an amazing live show. And to see, a female up there doing such an amazing job, I feel like if I could show my 18-year-old self something like that, I think that would be cool. Yeah.
Awesome. What sort of stuff were you actually listening to when you were 18, Ashlee?
What was I listening to when I was 18? It's a good question. I think I was into a bit of like Jack Johnson and that sort of vibe when I was 18.
Yeah.
And I also was still listening to a lot of the music that my parents would listen to growing up. So like a lot of Australian rock, Minnow, Cold Chisel, all of that, AC/DC. I feel like, I was still listening to a lot of that when I was 18.
Sure. I think that's a pretty standard response for most kids who grew up in that sort of area with the Akadaka and all that. There's worse bands. There's worse bands to be into for sure. All right. And track 5, Ashlee, is what's a song you would put on your mixtape if you wanted to let someone know that you're like romantically interested in them? What's your go-to song for that?
What's my pick? Yeah, I feel like I didn't answer this one quite properly. I'm not sure if I would send this to someone, but I find this song to be a very romantic song. And this whole album, Blood on the Tracks by Bob Dylan, it's quite a sad album, but it's very beautiful and romantic, I think. And the song I picked was Simple Twist of Fate, because I do love that song.
Great choice.
Yeah.
Absolutely love that one. It's not very often, Ashlee, that I get to chat to someone who has been picked by someone else on the mixtape. The reason I'm wearing the Last Quokka t-shirt, I'm not sure if you're familiar with them, they're a Perth punk band, is because when I interviewed Trent from Last Quokka, his choice for that track was Things You Do. And that's
cool.
That's what turned me on to your band a couple of years ago. And he quoted the lyric, let me see if I can get this right and not murder it. The factory of your thoughts brings joy to me. That's the lyric, right?
Yeah, that's the lyric.
Yeah, and that just piqued my interest straight away. I thought, what a fantastic lyric. And it was buzzing about the song so hard. And yeah, that's the joy of the mixtape, and that's the purpose of the mixtape, is not just for me, but for other people to introduce people to new stuff. Yeah, so
Yeah,
I just thought I mentioned that because I don't get that opportunity very often. I had Roy from King Stingray on a while back, and quite a few people have chosen Yellow as their cover version. So it was good to chat to him about that as well, because obviously that's a really common pick. That's a really amazing cover version. That. All right. Final track for your mixtape, Ashlee. Track 6. What's a song that you feel is maybe a little bit underappreciated, doesn't quite get the recognition that you think it deserves?
Yeah, so for this one I picked Don't Marry the One You Love by Laura Jean, who, is an artist. I love most of the music she's put out, and I think she's such an amazing and unique songwriter. Like, lyrically, I find the songs really funny and interesting insights into her life. And yeah, I think this song is like a really good story and take on her perception of what she's doing in her relationship. And it's just super catchy. I saw her play at Northcote Social Club a couple of years ago. And yeah, she's such a good performer as well. So I feel like, underappreciated for sure.
Yeah. Is she an Australian artist?
Yeah, an Australian artist. I think maybe based in Sydney now. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Cool. Fantastic choice, mate. Okay, just to finally round out the mixtape interview, Ashlee, future plans for Floodlights once you've got these Australian, New Zealand dates out of the way. What have you got coming up in the sort of later second half of 2025, mate? A few more tour dates? Getting a bit further?
Yeah. A bit more touring. Yeah, we just announced a tour of the UK and Europe kicking off at the end of August and running till late September, which will be awesome. Like going back to London and a bunch of other places in the UK and, France, Germany, Netherlands and Spain, I think, which will be cool. And then maybe even a regional Oz tour later in the year as well, to some of the more regional spots that we haven't been able to get to on the capital city run. It should be a busy year. Once this all kicks off.
Which venue are you playing in London? Do you know off the top of your head?
In London, hang on, I can look. It's right here. We are playing.
So I can let all my mates know where they can catch up.
Yeah, the Village Undergrounds.
Oh, okay. Is that Shoreditch? It's near Shoreditch, I think, isn't it? Yeah, that's right.
Get your mates down for sure.
Yeah, no, I will, absolutely. My niece goes to university in London. She turns me on to a lot of good stuff. And so we've been swapping music choices, which is amazing because she's like 18, 19.
Awesome.
Yeah, so she's only just discovering like Arctic Monkeys and those sorts of bands. And she got me into Inhaler and then the Vaccines. And it's amazing. I love swapping music choices with her. So I'm sure she'll be up for that gig as well. All right, Ashlee, it's been an absolute pleasure chatting to you, mate. Cannot wait to see you in Perth, May the 9th, 30 Social, floodlightsband.com for tickets and info on that day and all the Australian tour dates, and to order the vinyl, the bundles, the T-shirt, the merch, and all that other good stuff. Ashlee, safe travels over west, mate, and I'll catch you next week.
Cool. Thanks so much, Mark.
Cheers, mate. See you later. Bye-bye. Thank you so much for listening to the Mixtape podcast. All the links that you will need are in the description below. Link to my Patreon, my guest website and social media, my social media, and the link to the Mixtape tracks playlist as chosen by today's guest. Thanks so much for listening. Until next time.